Hey there, welcome to Coffee Break Plans. Today's topic is building a blueprint for my 2026 Franken Planner. I already went through my existing Franken Planner setup and reviewed each part of it and decided what needed changing, tweaking and removing. And I've ordered all my items in the September planner release. It's going to take some time for all those to get here. So what I'm going to do today is build a blueprint of my 2026 Franken Planner. I'm starting with some covers. The great thing about these is that you can flip them and reverse them and use them as covers. I have some metal discs, so I think I've said it a million times before, I don't like working with plastic discs, and I'm just going to put them on the cover. It's much easier to start a planner when you have a cover on the discs. Trying to do it with just pages is an impossible task. You need to have something a little bit more structure to hold the discs in place. Otherwise they just tear at your pages. Because I have so many excess happy planners lying around the place, I label them all so I can find out really easily what I have. So from my new 2026 planner that will arrive, I'm going to use the nameplate, the name page. I'll also have a year at a glance, which I won't use, so I'm going to glue to the perpetual. I'm going to have my top tabs, I'm going to have my future, my lists, and my notes. Now I am going to do some fresh lists. These are quartered weekly planners that are done by squairdplans, and I can put that in the description box. Because I don't pay for Adobe and I don't want to, I can't change these titles. So instead what I do is I print out the titles that I want, and I'm going to cut them out, not that one obviously, and stick them on. So I've chosen these 7 titles. I decided I didn't need errands or current TV. I mean, I used them last time, but they weren't really that essential to have there. I mean, seriously, if I can't remember what I'm watching on TV, then maybe I don't need to watch it. So I've got things to buy, repairs, current projects, long-term, books to read. I've left a gap down here because I tend to have a lot of books to add, so it leaves a bit of room for that. In my inbox and miscellaneous. I always find it great to have a miscellaneous box because you never know what's going to come up. So I'm going to place them into this blueprint here. It's always tricky at the beginning of setting up a happy planner on rings to get everything kind of lined up. But it always helps if you have a hard surface so that your rings will stand up nicely. Makes life a lot easier. And then we're going into the personal agenda, and I'm going to use my monthly dividers from my new planner that I've just ordered. However, the new planner that I've just ordered is in a horizontal layout, so I need dashboard pages. So I'm going to find my dashboard pages. So I do have some dated dashboard pages that I could use, and then I need to redate them, but I've decided that I'm too lazy to do that. I just received this pack the other day, and they have these really beautiful dividers. Like, as you know, I don't like the standard, what I call garish dividers that are often part of the Happy Planner sets. But when I saw these on sale, I decided I really had to have them because they're just really beautiful. They suit my more toned down aesthetic, and they are undated dashboards. So I'm going to take the dividers out because I'm going to use them for something else. Right now I'm going to place all of my dashboard pages from this set into here, and that will give me 8 months. My apologies, I can't count. That gives me 6 months. So I need 6 more months of undated dashboard pages from here. So I have all of my pages that I'm going to need for my time and task management in my personal section sitting in here, although some of them are not quite in. Right, there we go. So the next section is my goals section. So this is the top tab that I'm actually going to be using for my goals. So I'm going to put a label on it now because I want to use it in my current planner as well. So to make life a little bit easier for myself, I just printed off all 3 of the titles that I need for my top tabs all at once. And I just need to cut them to size. So that's ready to go. And I'm going to put this one in here as a placeholder. And I'm going to put in goals pages ready for next year. So there's my goals section all ready to go. I just have my placeholder plus my 90-day goals plus some pages for my goal setting in here, but I'll obviously need to print out some more and actually do the goal setting in there. So on to the next section, which is my creative section. So this is going to be the top tab for it, and I've already printed that out as you saw before. Just label that. These are awful to get in the right place. So I'm going to be using this in my current planner, so I need a placeholder tab for this. And I'm going to put this back in my current planner. I also need a set of monthly dividers for that section, so I've chosen the ones from this particular happy planner, and I just thought that if it's a creative section, this looks quite colourful and creative, so I quite like the fact that, I know I say I don't like things too garish, but these are all a set colour palette, they're not rainbowy, so I can actually handle these. So that's my creative section all ready to go. So onto my last top tab, and it's going to be my work tab. And of course, I'm going to put that back into my normal planner, so I'll put a placeholder in. And finally, because as I said before, I love making things really difficult for myself, I want to put in some dividers for my work section, and I'm going to use these ones, which are of course from an undated planner, so I'm going to have to put some months on here. So I'll set about and do that now. Now, because I only have 6 months worth of those nice dividers, I've had to choose some dividers from a different set. They're quite a lot more garish and not really something I would choose normally, but that's how it is when you're franken planning. It doesn't all match up perfectly. And the last thing to do is these undated monthlies, and what I do with these is I put them in each month and glue them to the divider ahead of it and then to the page after it, so that I can use my own Monday start monthlies rather than the Sunday start, which are in the happy planners. So some of these are already cut and punched, some of them aren't. This one is starting to lose a little bit of its integrity because it's printed on plain paper, and that's what happens when you do your own printables on just your standard 80 GSM paper. But because it's going to be glued to the page before it anyway, I'm not too worried about that because that page will hold it in rather than this on its own. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut and punch all of these and place them in here behind the placeholder, and then they're all ready to go for next year. Okay, that looks like it. So I've labelled it so that when I pick up this particular happy planner, I know that this is what it is. It's my 2026 Franken Planner Blueprint. I then have set up that I'm going to have a name page, a year at a glance, that I'm going to glue to the perpetual calendar, and I'm going to have my 3 top tabs, which of course I can't have in here yet because they are in my current planner. I've already put together my lists. Then I go into my personal agenda and I put monthly dividers from my new planner, but I already have all my undated dashboard pages ready to go for my personal agenda. So I just need to put my dividers in when they arrive. At the end of that section, I will have my goals top tab. It's a placeholder that I'll take out of my current Franken planner. And I've just placed some blank goals sheets in here so that I know roughly what I'm going to be using. Those I will be doing as I go. I will not be having anything prepared too far ahead of time. The next section is my creative top tab placeholder, and then I have all of my dividers ready for my creative section to go in. The last one is my work top tab placeholder, and I need to put in my pages from my new planner, which is a horizontal layout. But in the meantime, I have all of my undated monthly pages with the Monday start ready to glue into the dividers when I'm ready to go. And then I have a whole year's worth of dividers all labelled up and ready for the new year. So what I will do now is shelve this, and I will not be adding any more pages to this. So when my new pages that I intend to put into my 2026 Franken planner arrive, I will label them accordingly and stack them up next to this planner, and then I will know that everything I need for next year is all sitting here ready to go. When you're using a disc-bound planner, you can change and adapt so much. That's why I've ended up trialing so many different types of layouts, why I'm adding new sections in, why I'm doing all of this extra stuff. It's not because I have to. If I had a bound planner, I would find another way to do that. But because I have a disc-bound planner and I can add extra pages as I go, I will. So although it is a little bit more work than setting up a bullet journal or in setting up your common planner each year, for the moment I'm finding it well worth it just because of the adaptability. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time.